Welcome to another episode of The Latest to Admire. Today, I am so happy to have a conversation with musician Devon Alexander. Thank you so much for being on my show. I'm so
Of course.
excited to be talking with you.
I'm so excited to meet you.
So let's get started. So, who has had the biggest impact on you professionally?
I would say some of my biggest like musical influences or the people that really got me into music was honestly like old soul. So people like Etta James, that was like what really got me into music as a kid. And then honestly, my mom was a musician, and so I kind of grew up with her playing guitar and being in bands and singing and all this stuff. And so she was always such a great influence to me too, you know. And then present day, I really love some of the pop girlies. I know that's
Yeah.
kind of everyone loves the pop girlies, but I'm really into like Sabrina Carpenter and people with really good songwriting lyrics, you know. I think that songwriting is important.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. So who has had the biggest impact on you as a person?
As a person, that's a really good question. I mean, I would say, are we talking about like well-known people?
No, just I mean anybody in your life or that you admire.
Yeah, you know, one of the people that actually had this is not a musical person necessarily at all, but as a person, one of my favorite people in the world, her name is Laura Sunday, and she was someone that I worked for and worked with for like 7 years. I used to work for like a domestic violence and sexual assault prevention agency, and she was the executive director of this agency, and she, I think, just mentored me and taught me so much about myself and really always like empowered me to be like a strong individual. And I would say that as a person, she's someone that really just had a huge impact on me and always encouraged me to like follow my dreams and chase my passions. And so I feel like she was the one that really made me believe that I could do it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that is such like important work, and that's like something I'm very passionate
Yeah.
about. And so yeah, I think just that it's yeah, very important work and very incredible that you did that.
Yeah, I mean, it was like the best chapter of my life. I started doing it when I was like 17. So sorry, my phone moved. But I started doing it when I was 17 and yeah, I did it for like 7 years. And so it was just
Oh.
so rewarding and like what a great way to start out my work life and my career, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So do you have a specific songwriting process or any rituals you do before writing a song?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I feel like it's different sometimes. Most of the time, I feel like I have like concepts in my head where I'm like, okay, I think this would be a really cool concept. And that can be fueled by maybe something that I went through or something that I experienced. Or sometimes I'm like, you know what? I think that's just such a really big opportunity for a song, you know? And I'll kind of just sit with that, really think about it. Um, and then I'll kind of, for me, I feel like I almost kind of like hear the songs in my head, and then I just start writing. I always, when I'm writing, I have a little dog. And so I always have her with me. I'm just kind of like petting her, giving her some love and attention. Um, and yeah, and then I just will kind of get into it. You know, I'll start like
Yeah.
messing around on the piano or the guitar and just kind of seeing where it feels right.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I love writing songs
Yeah, I love
too.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so
Yeah.
nice. Sometimes I feel like there's the thing that I love about it so much, it's like with songwriting, if you're going through something or if you are like maybe dealing with something, right, you can really like just encapsulate a moment in
Yeah.
time with that. And then you have this like piece of art that you can always look back at and be like, wow,
Yeah.
like I remember exactly what was going through my head during this time, you know? And so
Yeah.
I think that's a really beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Is there an artist or a song that you consider to be the gold standard when it comes to songwriting and storytelling?
I don't have a song that I would say is like the gold standard. I just feel like songwriting is such a personal thing, I think, for a lot of people. And so I just really appreciate the thought and the time and the artwork that kind of goes behind each song, you know? And so
Yeah.
I think that while I have like my favorite songs that I love, you know, I think at the same time, I love that so many people can tell so many different stories or even a very similar one and just the way that they write.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Is there a song that you are currently obsessed with?
Yes, I know. I just there is a song that I'm currently obsessed with. Currently I'm act this is it's what but Sympathy is a Knife by Charlie XCX. I think it's not the one with Ariana Grande, although I love that one as well. It's the original. I have just been playing that on repeat for the past like couple weeks. It's been out for a while, so I don't know like why now all of a sudden it's really speaking to me, but I love that that song is so it's like so like straight up pop, you know, and it's a banger. But if you're actually like looking at the lyrics, it's pretty deep. Like it's all
Yeah.
about insecurity and how you know, she's insecure in her relationship about maybe this other person, and like it's a really deep song, and I love that there's that dichotomy there.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
How about you? You have a
Yeah.
song that you're just listening to on repeat?
Right now it's well, I'm obsessed with the artist Catherine Gallagher.
Yeah, she's
And
amazing.
I love all of her music and I'm obsessed with her mo the song she just recently released, The Sweetest Song.
Okay,
I'm
I don't know
obs
if I've heard that one, but I will be
oh,
checking it out. That's
it's
for sure.
so good. I'm obsessed with it.
Okay, I love that. I'll be checking it out.
Oh, oh yay. Yeah, I love her so much. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's an amazing, amazing artist. Give me one quick
Yeah.
second. I'm just gonna like, I don't know
Yes.
why my, there we go. Now we're good. Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I haven't heard that song by Charlie XCX, so I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, it's really good. It's kind of it's like a club banger,
Yeah.
but the lyrics are just super. It's just super well written, and I love
Yeah.
the dichotomy of it being kind of like an upbeat song, but it's also lyrically sad. So
Yeah.
I really like it.
Yeah, I love that. I love those types of songs.
Yeah, it's just
Um
so fun.
yeah. Yeah. I remember there's one I forget who sings it, but there's one song called Tracks of My Tears
Yeah,
that I had never like I don't remember hearing like the original, but there was one or there used to be a show that I loved called Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist,
yeah.
and one of the singers covered that song and it was a slowed down version of it.
Okay.
And I remember my mom telling me like the original is so upbeat and then so it's one of those that you're dancing to and then you listen to the words and you're like this is
Yeah.
actually really sad. So then I
Yeah.
listened to the original and I just love those kinds of songs that really kind of can it's disguised as something else.
Yeah, they just kind of make you think a little bit deeper, you know, and I just
Yeah.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so what has been the biggest obstacle you've overcome?
You know, let's see. I think it's well, so personally, just a little bit about me. So I grew up in a really, really small town. I live in LA now, but I grew up in a really small town. I grew up in a super religious household, and I was a Jehovah's Witness for a really long time. And so, um, doing music in general and kind of doing that was kind of discouraged. And so I really wasn't sure that I could even do it, that I could like make it out of my town and I could actually live in LA and I could be making music. It was all
Yeah.
so scary to me, and I kind of thought that it was wrong a little bit just because of the beliefs that I had for so long, and so I think just taking a risk, and I auditioned for American Idol in 2019, and that was kind of what made me realize, like, okay, like I can do something. So I think that was like the biggest obstacle, just was myself really, and just realizing that I could make it happen if I wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. So if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
My warning label, it would honestly be like, let's see, if my oof, I feel like there's a lot of things that are
Yeah.
running through my head. um Honestly, it would just say like caution, like this bitch is blunt. And I feel like I'm a pretty straightforward individual, but I feel like even some of my songs, like
Yeah.
the most recent ones I feel like I've come out with are pretty, not mean, but but
Yeah.
like like they're kind of sharp, I guess.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of me as a person. Like I will say like how I feel, and I'm not afraid to like say something that's a little bit edgy.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that warning label. Yeah.
What about you? Do you have like a warning you would say?
Oh. I also feel like there's a lot
Yeah.
probably that
Yeah.
the one I don't know, my go-to is always I caution or like prone to anxiety, don't overload.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that kind of sums everything up.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I also have
Yeah.
anxiety, so I get that. I get that a lot.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
No, it's not. But yeah, I love all of your music, and I think it was your most recent song. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I should say the name of it, but
Yeah.
um, that one I am just obsessed with. I think
Thank you.
I have it on repeat all the time.
See, I feel like that's a song. Are you talking about FU2, that
Yeah,
one? Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I feel like it's just a song because sometimes you're mad and sometimes everything's not pretty
yeah,
and like nice, and you're just like,
yeah,
ugh. And
yeah,
so that's kind of where that song came from. I wrote that song with one of my like best friends. His name's Noah Davis, and he's an amazing songwriter, so talented, and I just am absolutely obsessed with him as a person and an individual, and he just really helped me make that song come to life. So
yeah.
I love it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I have it on repeat all the time. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah. Um, so I am pop culture obsessed and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching.
Yes, yeah.
Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
My favorite show right now has been Hacks on HBO. I Have you seen Hacks?
Yeah, I
Okay,
have.
I love it. I love that show so
Yeah.
much, and I will keep rewatching it, and I think it's just so genius. And so that's
Yeah.
been my top show. I also am like a true crime fan, so I have been also watching the Menendez brothers
Oh
show
yeah.
on Netflix. That one's pretty
Yeah.
good. But Hacks is definitely like my favorite show right now. I love like a nice comforting comedy, so I also
Yeah.
love like Broad City. I will like watch that on repeat. It's great. I love it.
Oh yeah.
What about you?
Oh, I
Do you
love
have a
that.
show that you're just obsessed with?
Oh, I have a lot. I have like my go-to
Okay.
shows that I've seen so many times, but I never get sick of.
Yeah.
I can't uh I'm a right now the most or the new season of The Lincoln Lawyer. I'm
Yeah, I've heard that's really good.
Yeah, I haven't watched the new season yet, but I'm about to start it. I am
Okay.
obsessed with that show. It's definitely up there with like as one of my favorite shows.
Love that. Okay. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah. Yeah, and then I have like Will and Grace on always in the background. Will and Grace are friends.
Yeah,
Those
the
are
classics, classic
yeah.
shows.
Yeah. Yeah. Um so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Yeah, I mean, as someone that has anxiety and doesn't always love life, I feel like it's so important to appreciate the little moments, you know? And so for me, those little
Yeah.
things are just like taking my dog for a walk and,
Yeah.
giving her a little kiss on the cheek and,
Yeah.
taking her to the dog park or just getting a cup of coffee and just enjoying that kind of like
Yeah.
that morning ritual. Those are honestly like the things that keep me grounded, or just, like going for a run, or like trying to do little things like that for myself just to keep me grounded. And I feel like those things have brought me a lot of peace.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, yeah. So how do you keep yourself motivated to create even on days when you aren't fully feeling it?
It's not always the easiest. I will say sometimes I'm like, ugh, like I don't want to do anything because I feel tired. And, I also work like a normal job, and,
Yeah.
it's not always the easiest to stay motivated at times. But I feel like what got me into songwriting in the first place and making music was it was kind of always something that I like couldn't help but do. And so in those moments where I was just like maybe thinking about something or a little frustrated, like that's kind of always been my outlet to kind of de-stress and just feel a little bit more um like I'm processing everything, And so it's always been kind of like a tool for me. And so I feel like sometimes it even helps me, even when I'm not feeling like motivated or anything. I'll try and force myself to do it a little
Yeah.
bit just because it always helps me in the long run.
Yeah.
Um, so I really try. And if I'm really not feeling it, then I will also just be kind to myself some days and be like, you know what, today's just not the day. I'm just gonna do something else. I'm gonna step outside. I'm gonna get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Spend some time with some friends, and I feel like I always come back more motivated.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. 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 So, what do you wish people better understood about you?
Hmm. Well, you know what? I would say honestly that if you're just listening to my music, especially I feel like I have a lot of like, maybe not a lot, but I've written some breakup songs, right?
Yeah.
that are more like it's your fault. Like it's I'm
Yeah.
blaming you, which there's a time
Yeah.
and a place for that. And I love that. And I think
Yeah.
that sometimes like that's what we need. But I
Yeah.
just feel like there's a lot more to me, and actually like my songwriting style. My next releases are more like ballads, and they're really like beautiful and show a lot of like depth and character. And so I feel like that's something that I think I wish people know, and I think they will know as soon as I release those. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for that.
Yeah.
I also have a really good sense of humor, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
So I think people need to know that sometimes I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I remember when when I saw your Instagram bio. I love that. I love what it says. And I told my mom that, and she was like, okay, I can already tell he has a great sense of humor.
Thank you. I thought it
Yeah.
was funny, so I was like, let me do it. Let me do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I really I don't know. I just appreciate having a sense of humor and not taking things too seriously
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm the same way. I'd much rather just like be laughing than having things be so heavy and
Yeah,
serious all the time.
exactly. Like it's too much sometimes.
Yeah.
So I feel like might as well just like mess around and have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. My family and I have a very like warped sense of humor with everything we've gone through because we're like
Yeah, and
you
I feel
just
like you
have to
have
laugh.
to. You
Yeah.
have to. So
Yeah.
I love that. I'm happy to hear
Exactly.
that.
Yeah. So we're always very entertained by our conversations, but we're always like, we know that other people would probably think we're insane. So It's a good thing nobody hears some of our
Yeah,
conversations.
yeah, and that's okay, honestly, you know.
Yeah.
But that as long as you guys are having fun, that's what matters.
Yes. Yeah. Do you have or I'm so sorry, I'm mixing up all my words.
Oh my gosh, you're so
Um,
fine.
so is there a show or movie that you find yourself quoting more often than you'd like?
Okay, I feel like there is. Wait, let me think about this because I feel like there are things that I quote. You know what? Okay, you know what it is, which this is,
Yeah.
I feel like this is maybe every gay person, but I quote a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh.
I I really do. I am quoting that thing more often than not, and I should probably take a second look at that because it's too much. But I love it. It's fantastic. So, I find myself quoting that all the time.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I find myself I don't know, I have like a couple shows that I just quote all the time, and one of them is Will and Grace and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Friends. And yeah, my best friend, I quote like Will and Grace to him all the time, and he's never seen the show, so he never gets it or
Uh,
realizes I'm making a reference. And so
right.
yeah, I'm like, I'm not being mean. I'm saying I'm like
I'm
speaking.
quoting them. Yeah, it's not me,
Yeah.
it's them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quoting Karen Walker. You have to watch the show.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
I love that.
yeah. Um, yeah, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is by Nelson Mandela, and it says, it always seems impossible until it's done. Is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Let me think. I know that there are. I would just need to Google it
Yeah.
to to quote it exactly.
Yeah.
But I love that quote. I think that's great, and I think that that's so true because it always just
Yeah.
seems like there is no way this is going to work until all of a sudden you find yourself on the other side of that mountain, you know?
Yeah.
And so I love that. I think that that's a great quote. I'm trying to think. There has been one that I have recently thought about, and I was like, that's beautiful. But right now, I'm struggling to remember what exactly that was. But I can send it to
Oh,
you. I'll circle back. I'll
yeah.
circle back with you on
Okay.
this quote. Yeah,
Cool.
because
Yeah.
there's always some good ones, you know, and there's always
Yeah.
like such words of wisdom out there, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I would love to know what quote.
I will send it to you. I'm gonna have to use
Okay.
my phone to Google it
Thank
because I'm
you.
like, what is it? But I will circle back with you. I
Okay.
promise. Yeah.
Thank you. And then I can put it in the video.
Yes, absolutely. I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Well, that was my final question for you.
Yeah.
I would just love to keep talking with you. I've had the best time.
Thank you. Me too. You're amazing. So you're
Oh,
killing it.
oh, thank you. I
Of
think you're
course.
amazing.
Thanks. I appreciate that. We're trying, you know, that's all we can do
Yeah.
is try. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, it was so much fun talking with you. I so appreciate your taking the time to join me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Enjoy the day. I don't
Thank
know what
you.
part of the country you live in, but it's beautiful where I'm at. So I hope it's like beautiful
Yeah.
where you're at, and I hope you have a
Yes.
beautiful day.
Thank you.
Of
You
course.
too.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Um, and that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.